don't want to do anything to scare your children. That's the last thing we want to do. That's a direct order. Do it now.
He's been put down, ripped off, cut open. Now he's unleashed. Unleashed. The American insurgency starts now. This is Rusty Humphries, Rebellion Radio.
Well, hello, my brother from another mother. How you doing, my sister from another mister? Hi, welcome. My name is Rusty Humphries, and this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Thank you for being a part of the rebellion. We are here with thanks, and we are powered by the lovely folks at Right Wing News. We love them. We love Right Wing News. I want to thank them for being so nice and so awesome. Today's program is being brought to you by DerMend. DerMend is mature skin solutions. If you are a seasoned citizen, one of the most common skin disorders is as your skin ages, the lipid layer. It's a layer that protects your body. It depletes and produces fewer oils that naturally keep your skin moisturized, and it can have a significant impact on your quality of life. It can lead to serious problems, things like sleep deprivation. And DerMend Moisturizing Anti-Itch Lotion offers a targeted, gentle care to relieve that itchy, dry, irritated skin without steroids. It's available at Walmart, Walgreens, other great retailers. If you would please go and get your DerMend Moisturizing Anti-Itch Lotion, we'd appreciate it. We got a lot of the great sponsors, too. We'll tell you about them coming up in a little bit. Okay, if you would please check in. We got a lot of folks here today and a lot to talk about. There was good President Trump today and bad President Trump today. What am I talking about? We'll get to that in just a minute. Louisa is checking in from Philadelphia. Brian is checking in. How you doing? Jim is in Pennsylvania. Ernie is saying it's his first time. Hey, Ernie, welcome. We sure appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Nanine is here. Michael is here from North Carolina. Jim checking in. Shane says, hey, Rusty, what's up? Jacksonville, Florida, waiting for the storm. Pamela loves the theme song. Roxanne is in New York. Let's take a look at the storm. The storm already has hit, and it's not looking good. It hit St. Martin a little while ago, and it's causing. Oh man, have you ever been through a hurricane? I have. I don't think anything like this though. Have you seen what's happened in St. Martin? Not that long ago. Let's check it out here. Look at that. I mean, I've seen storms, but again, if you're just joining us, that's live footage as Hurricane Irma destroying Maho Beach in St. Martin. Man. It's taken out the camera. It took out the camera. That's how bad it is. Holy moly. Let's see. I've got another clip here of it on the ground. No, we don't have that. Okay. Michael checking in from Phoenix. Shane says, yeah, that's about 200 miles an hour. It's crazy. Eileen, that is awful. Hillsboro, Oregon is where James is. Elizabeth is sending prayers from Tucson. John Michael says it's the perfect storm of historic and biblical proportions. Roseanne checking in from Orlando. I was in Hurricane Charlie when it hit Orlando. And I'm praying for you guys. And, here's the one thing I remember. I guess Rush talked about this a little bit today, and boy, did he get in trouble. And part of it is that the media, they don't want to tell the truth. They just want to do anything they can to make conservatives look bad. I don't know about you. I don't know how many storms I have been promised by the media. Oh, it's going to be a big one. Oh, look out. Everybody's going to die. You better buy your batteries. You better buy your water. You better go get a generator. You better get, whatever. And then nothing happens. It is good for the ratings. It is. TV stations, radio stations, it's great for the ratings. They love it. News departments love it. That's where they make their big money. Do I think this is one of those storms? I don't. I mean, to me, this storm looks like it is a strike 10 right up into Florida. If you take a look here, I mean, it looks to me like this thing is going to go just a strike right into Florida here and up into Georgia, where I've got a lot of friends. It's just a mess. And so we're going to keep an eye on it, as everybody else is. David checking in. Douglas is in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Oh, God bless you, brother. Sela's in San Diego. Carrie says that looked like a solar storm on Mars. Barbara's talking about DACA. We're going to get to that in just a second, Barbara. Thank you. Susan says some cleanup that's going to be there. Ruth checking in from the Bay Area of California. Christopher was through Wilma, bad stuff. Liz is praying. John's asking for everybody's prayers in Florida. Everybody, thank you, by the way. I sure appreciate it. Brian says perhaps this time, no, I think there will be way more damage yet again. Yeah. What is the ETA on landfall for the U.S.? It's a good question. Let's take a look at here at some of the video here. Looks like Sunday, 2 p.m. Maybe, well, that's about Sunday, about 2 p.m., maybe a little bit earlier than that. Looks like it's going to hit. Play a little clip of this from CNN, and then it's going to go into bad Trump today. Trump, bad Trump, bad Trump. We'll get your take on that in just a second. Let's hit this video, though.
An update on the forecast that's coming up. Also breaking, a source says President Trump left Republican leaders, quote, shell-shocked today by agreeing with congressional Democrats on a deal to fund disaster relief, avoid a government shutdown, and...
Bad Trump. Bad. Bad Trump. Bad. Bad. I know President Trump is very smart, but he has to learn the lesson from President Reagan. And President Bush won. Every time the Democrats say they will work with a Republican president, they are, what's the word? I'm trying to think of the word. Oh, yes. They are lying. They are liars. Liars. They're lying. Why did Ronald Reagan give amnesty to all those illegal immigrants that came across the border in the 80s? He did it because the Democrats said, well, if you do this, we'll build the wall. They lied. George W. Bush, Dave gave that great speech. Read my lips, no new taxes. And the Democrats said, hey, listen, we need the tax raise. Just go for it. We won't make it an issue in the election. Don't worry, you have our word on it. They are lying. Lying. They are liars. And President Trump, you are falling for it. You are Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. You're going to believe those two liars? Don't do it. But it's too late. Let's see what he did. Bad Trump today. Bad Trump. Bad Trump. Let's see what he did. Let's go watch the whole video here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
President Trump left Republican leaders, quote, shell-shocked today by agreeing with congressional Democrats on a deal to fund disaster relief, avoid a government shutdown, and raise the debt limit. Let's bring in our political specialists. And Dan, I want you and our viewers to take a look at this photo, a photo of President Trump and Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader, the minority leader, in the Oval Office. Look at that picture. They seem to be best friends in that picture, but Republicans were reportedly stunned by the president's sudden alliance with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. What happened in the Oval Office?
What happened is that the president completely surprised everybody, the Republicans and the Democrats, by effectively ignoring the pleas from Republican leaders in Congress to go along with what they thought was a plan to push for an extension, first of all, at the very least, 18 months. for the debt limit because they thought tactically and then just policy and politically, for all those reasons, that they would want to kind of kick it down past the next election. Well, the president not only said no to that, I am told by a source who was familiar with the meeting, then the Republicans said, okay, 12 months, no. Okay, 6 months, no. Democrats were firm on saying 3 months, and that's it. And we'll tie it to the relief for Hurricane Harvey. And the president said, okay, deal. And then at that point, the Republican leader, the majority leader, Mitch McConnell, said, okay, well, if we're going to do that, let's at least extend the funding for the government so that we have it all in one package. And I was told that the Republican leaders were shell-shocked. They didn't expect it. Certainly the Democrats didn't expect it. They thought that they were just going to come out with a kind of agreeing to disagree situation, which they usually do. And that's not what happened at all. And there are a lot of Republicans on Capitol Hill who feel pretty blindsided. But you also have a president who said, you know what? I am ready to do a deal. I am sick of this fighting. And we've seen over the past couple of months that the president also doesn't have a lot of faith in the Republican leaders. And I think this was an example of that coming through.
Gloria, just listen to the speaker, Paul Ryan, before that meeting in the...
Okay. I don't blame President Trump for not believing the Republicans, but you can never, ever believe these Democrats. Ever. Because if they're not lying, they're not talking. When it comes to... Okay, let's give another example. Okay, let me see here. Mike says he's got a lot on his plate right now to worry about this later. That's exactly what the Democrats want you to do. This is how they get the trap, and you fall right into it. And then this problem, and these are major problems, but these major problems will be over in a couple of months. What President Trump is falling into is a trap that will last generations. That's the problem. Now, yes, Richard, his party undercuts him all the time. I don't disagree. All of the establishment people want Trump to fail. All of them. This isn't the way to do it. Now, another dumbass that's in the establishment who I just can't stand. Oh, I can't stand John Kasich. Oh, I hate John Kasich. I hate John Kasich as much as I hate John McCain, and that's saying something. John Kasich says, yes, Congress should pass DACA in 6 hours, not 6 months. You dumbass. You idiot. You moron. You know, I thought he was a complete idiot when he ran for president, and he's just going to, anything Trump does, I'm just going to do the opposite and hope that it pays off. What a phony. What a dunce. What a dope, John Kasich. Let's see. Peggy says, Rusty, I truly believe he knows what they are up to. He needs to get out of D.C. He needs to go out and help the victims that ignore these asses. I hope so. I hope so. But see, here's what I fear. One of the reasons we like President Trump is because he is not a political hack. Politics wasn't his thing. And we wanted a guy to come in there and drain the swamp. The problem is that the swamp keeps sucking him down. It's just like, was it The Godfather 3? Every time I try to get out, they pull me back in. And that's what's happening to President Trump. He doesn't, he's still learning who to trust and who not to trust. I think he's a trusting guy in a lot of ways. I think he's a nice guy in a lot of ways. And I think when Chuck Schumer, hey, Mr. President, yeah. Hey, let's work out a deal. It's going to be good for everybody. He doesn't realize how hard he's going to get screwed. That's what I think. Dennis checking in. Aloha, Rusty, deplorable veteran from the state of Hawaii. Thank you, Dennis. How you doing, brother? Robert says he probably did it so there's money for the Harvey relief. He's thinking about Texas. Come on, it can't be all that bad. Here's what Democrats are going to do. They're going to put every garbage pet pork project, every lousy thing you can think of, and they're going to tie it to Texas and Florida relief. It's what they do. They never don't do it. It's guaranteed. The sun will rise, the sun will set. The Democrats will try to screw the American people when all the American people want to do is help American people. I promise you, it's coming. It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. Let's see. Oh, speaking of these dumbasses, the congressional Democrats held a news conference on DACA today. Same day that Trump just bent over backwards for him, they did a news conference. And I want you to watch this because they prove what criminals and liars the illegal immigrants are. Let me show you what I mean here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
Thank you very much, Senator. I want to thank the Senate and the House for their incredible, fearless leadership on what I think is a hallmark issue of our time, which is making sure that American values play out productively by protecting dreamers and their families. You're going to hear it over and over and over again because the president's decision to end DACA stands as an indefensible and unjust act of cruelty.
Okay, I got to stop this idiot for just a second. And by the way, are they dreamers or schemers? Let's continue on with this hack Democrat congresswoman. I don't even know who it is. But listen to what she has to say. By the way, again, what Donald Trump did by returning the rule of law, by overturning the temporary law that Barack Obama illegally put in place. Again, what I think is that Donald Trump should have rescinded DACA, but he's phasing it out. And what he's trying to do, in my guess, is that he wants Congress to pass some kind of legislation that would permanently enable the dreamers or the schemers to stay in America. I think he favors amnesty for the dreamers. Now, here's what is interesting. Trump may soon get his chance. There is a bipartisan pro-amnesty bill that is being put out there. It's called the DREAM Act. It was originally sponsored by Senator Tom Tillis. He's a North Carolina Republican. It is gaining considerable support in Congress. Now, Tillis is a rhino globalist. He champions open borders. He champions amnesty. He is an ally of the Chamber of Commerce. He is a puppet of the corporate lobby. The donor class, which is led by the billionaires like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos and George Soros, they have given the establishment the marching orders, and the marching orders are the dreamers must stay. And who's falling in line? Paul Ryan, Lindsey Graham, John McCain, his boyfriend, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Dick Durbin. They are all now coalescing around a path to legalization for these DACA illegal aliens. Now, here's the thing. This DREAM Act for the dreamers or the schemers would make Obama's executive amnesty law. It would provide legal status to over 2.5 million dreamers. So it wouldn't just encompass the young illegal immigrants, most of whom are between the ages of 16 and 30. By the way, 30, that's young. 30. So you haven't had time at 30 to get this straightened out. But here's the deal. Not only is it going to take care of the kids that are 19 to 30, the kids that are 30, but it'll help their illegal parents as well. Within 5 years, provided they are working, going to school, or serving in the military, they would attain permanent residency. They would get a green card. Then they would be eligible to attain full citizenship, including the right to vote. In other words, the bill would reward law breaking for those people who entered our country illegally. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't stop with the dreamers. Because if the dreamers are allowed to permanently stay, then obviously they have to petition the government to allow their parents to stay and then their family members to stay. And according to liberal logic, well, the families can't be broken. Well, okay, so then the dreamers and their families are going to be given legalized status. And that's why that 800,000 is a lie. They're going for 2.5 million, which, by the way, that's a lie. It's a hell of a lot more than that. But here's the other thing. It will be a privileged exemption. They will have special status upon an entire class of people. And that not only violates the law, but it undermines the basic principle of a self-governing republic, equality under the law. And it places the interests of foreigners, especially those who entered America illegally, above those who obey and follow the law. It is a slap in the face to millions of legal immigrants, like my good friend Jeff Cooner, who's a great talk show host on WRKO. He legally immigrated from Canada. He respected the laws. He respected the legal system. He went through all the crap. He paid nearly $25,000 to wait in line and follow the laws. And now these schemers are getting preferential treatment because they are part of a powerful, growing ethnic bloc. And it is a classic example of might makes right. And I'll tell you something. If President Trump signs any kind of legislative amnesty, he's in big, big trouble. Huge part of his voting bloc will be gone. And if he thinks he's going to pick up the Democrats and the Dreamers, he's wrong. They will stab him in the back, guaranteed. Guaranteed. I mean, I think his presidency will be in huge trouble if he does something like that. Forget about Robert Mueller. Forget about the hostile media. Forget about the deep state. Forget about the obstructionist Democrats. Forget about the rhino Republicans. It will be the schemers who have the potential to break his presidency. And he will pay dearly for betraying his voters. What do you think? Comment right here on Facebook. I want to know what you think. And I want to know your comments. Give me likes, thumbs ups. Maybe if you disagree, give me thumbs down. That's fine, whatever. But I want to go back to this hack politician, this hack Democrat. And I want you to listen to what she has to say. And again, do you think if Trump supports the schemers, that this chick will support him for president? Think again, Bucky. Think again.
President's decision to end DACA stands as an indefensible and unjust act of cruelty against nearly 800,000 young people who trusted the American government with their hopes, their contributions, and their dreams. Now, many of us, particularly coming from New Mexico, no stranger to the issues of immigration, no stranger to the issue of mixed status families. But I have to tell you, I remember like it was yesterday, the first time I met with Dreamers over a lunch. And I really, hearing it from them directly, that they don't know that this is not their country.
Okay, listen to this.
Until they apply for a driver's license.
Okay, I'm going to stop it right there just for a second because I want you to listen to what she's saying. Basically, what she's acknowledging is the parents of the schemers are not only criminals, but they're liars too. And they're criminals to the American system when they broke into our country and stayed here illegally, and they're liars to their children because they didn't tell their children that they weren't citizens of the United States, and they didn't know, according to this woman, they didn't know until they were at least 16 when they applied for a driver's license or when they went to college. That's what kind of liars these parents are, according to the Democrat who likes them. Okay, let's go back and tell me if that is that not what she said? Here we go.
Go to college.
Hold on.
Our country.
Okay.
Them directly that they don't know that this is not their country.
Don't know.
All right, until they apply for a driver's license, where they go to college. And in one fell swoop, everything they know to be true, a country that they believe in, that they support, that they fight for, immediately is removed from them and their entire families.
So they had no friggin' idea. Not one. They've lived here since they were 10 seconds old. They were born in Mexico. Mom and dad brought them across the border. They were 1, 2, 3, 10, I don't know. And mom and dad, it slipped their mind to tell them they were here illegally. Whoops, didn't know. And guess what? You and I are supposed to feel bad because they lied to their children, because they came to our country illegally, because they took advantage of the goodwill and nature of the American people. And I'm supposed to feel bad that their parents are liars? Let's go back to this idiot. Continue.
They believe in, that they support, that they fight for, immediately is removed from them and their entire families. Yasmin, one of my constituents, is a law school graduate who wants to be an immigration lawyer. She wasn't aware, just as I said, about her status until she applied for a driver's license.
She had no idea. This is a woman that wants to be a lawyer, and she wants to help illegals get status, and she ain't know nothing. Her pappy and her mammy it just slipped their minds. Oh man, did we forget to tell you? Oh man, shoot, we were gonna tell you 10 years ago. It just slipped our minds. We were too busy working in the fields and slaving away because these evil Americans. We were just trying to make a living, having 25 people in the double wide trailer, and we just forgot to tell you. I'm sorry, sweetheart. It's America's fault. Blame them. Don't blame us.
For many dreamers, in addition to having it ripped away, here's another emotion. They're ashamed. They feel their potential is capped. They feel fear from themselves. And as important, they're afraid for their parents, who risked everything to protect them and give them a better life.
Who risked everything to break the law, take as many government benefits as they could, and be in a country they weren't legally allowed to be in. If I tried to do it in Mexico or Guatemala or France or Germany or Russia or China or North Korea or wherever, you get rounded up and thrown in prison. Only in America do we say, hey, let's see how much we can give you. Hate us all you want. Run around, fly your flag, demand more goodies, and then we're going to turn around and just take it. I'm tired of taking it. I'm tired of taking it. I'm tired of taking it.
This overwhelming burden of being undocumented. Thank you. DACA changed all that. Good idea. Perfect.
Thank you, Nancy Pelosi.
It unlocked their potential. It freed them from the crippling fear of deportation.
We're listening to congressional Democrats holding a...
All right, yap. So let's listen to another one of these lovely children. One of these lovely children who all they care about is the love of America and their parents, and they just want to make life better for themselves because evil Americans have been nothing but mean to them, and President Trump is just nothing but a big old bully.
I'm not sure how I will go home later today and explain to my mom that the help I have been providing her, it's not there any longer.
By the way, can I ask a question? What kind of help? I mean, was that girl 13, 14 years old? I mean, I don't know if she is, but I mean, she looked awful young. I mean, is it money that she was helping the parents with, or was it just by her being there, she was getting government benefits that was bringing home to the family? I don't know. George says, let me see if I understand this. We should not blame the children for their parents' sins perpetrated 25 years ago, but it's okay to blame white people for slavery perpetrated 150 years ago. Interesting. Lisa says they are here illegally, yet they have the nerve to call themselves dreamers. Yeah, my daughter dreams of the day her college loans are paid off. You know, what's... See, James says a group of people who won't fight to make their own country better, but instead come to make our country support them. Joy says, wasn't just Democrats in the past, it was both parties. I normally don't agree with things, but I agree with y'all. Send them back. And by the way, you're right. Both parties are part of this, and they're both wrong. Justin wants to know, what about American children's dreams? Why do these illegal aliens get to live an American dream on the backs of American workers? It's not right. It needs to stop. No amnesty. Get rid of them. If they want to argue we can't divide families, fine. Then we'll deport them all. Sick of this crap. See, that's not going to happen. It won't happen. Mike says the parents betrayed their children. That I agree with. I agree. The parents, they knew. Again, let's not forget, there was a big amnesty in the 80s. And a lot of these kids are coming right after the amnesty. And by the way, the deal was amnesty for right now in the 80s for Ronald Reagan, and then that was it. They're building the wall. No more amnesty. That was it. And the Democrats, yeah, dumbass. Yeah, Reagan, fall for that one. Good for you. And Trump's falling for the same thing. Same thing. Let's go back to looking at this video of these poor children. Here we go. Denver, Colorado.
I've been here since I was 1.5, so I'm Mexican, but I do consider myself American. This is everything I've known ever.
Washington, D.C.
Trump didn't feel like he had the guts to tell it to our faces. He sent Jeff Sessions to do that, right? He put a ticking bomb on us and say, 6 months, you need to figure it out.
Tampa, Florida.
We're not criminals. This is what we are. We go to school. We work 2 jobs. We put into your economy. We pay our taxes.
Trump gave Congress 6 months to replace DACA before he ends the program. No new DACA applications will be accepted after September 5th. No renewals will be allowed after October 5th. New York, New York.
To strip this economy of 700,000 workers, to rob this economy of $460 billion in GDP, and to tear apart our families and our communities. How does this make America great?
Okay. Do you want to answer that for him? How about the billions of dollars that are spent on education, food, shelter, services? Don't tell me you're all paying taxes. You're not. Because one thing is, if you're on, let's just use a family, or what is it, earned income family credit, where you're not making very much, you got a bunch of kids, you're not paying taxes. Matter of fact, you're getting money back. Don't lie. Don't lie. Just don't lie. That's all I say. Don't lie. Hannity had on one of the great apologists of the illegal immigrants, Jorge, what's his name? I won't be able to watch very much of this, I'll be honest. This guy drives me nuts because of the lies. I can't stand the lies, but we'll watch a minute of it and see what you have to say about this. Here we go.
We are a nation of laws, and we have a constitution, and we have co-equal branches of government. President Obama, as I played his own words, he didn't believe constitutionally he had the authority to usurp the power of Congress, but he did it anyway. So what President Trump is now doing is saying, all right, you had 8 months, Congress. I'm going to give you 6 more months. And if you want to fix DACA, do it legally. If you don't want to fix it, we can't usurp the Constitution.
Yeah, but then who's going to take care of them? They are already here, Sean. You know they're already here.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Who's taking care of me? Right? Nobody takes care of anybody. That's not the job of the government. We got to take care of everybody now? We got to take care of 30-year-old people whose parents snuck them into the country? When does it stop? We got to take care of them? How about they take care of themselves? Isn't that what America's supposed to be about? America's about you make it on your own. Yes, we all need a helping hand every once in a while. We do. But this is not why you come to our country. You are supposed to come to our country as an immigrant to make our country better. Sorry. You're here to make our country better. We're not here to give you things. That's just not what it's about. Or am I wrong? Let's go back to this idiot.
When they were very young, 800,000 of them, and if you add those who did not apply for DACA,
then your beef is with Congress.
2 million. So someone has to take care of them, and it is our responsibility to do that.
No,
I think
it's
what
not.
President Trump did was
what I read you earlier is
here's the problem. Here's the problem, and Jorge is right if you're coming from a Latin American country. There is no historical government in Latin American countries that have any conservative values at all. They are all, and have in their history, been socialist-style countries, depending on the government to provide, depending on the government to give. You are not, in those countries, it is not about you succeeding on your own. It's about the government giving you and the government being bigger and all-powerful. See, they don't understand. Jorge doesn't understand what it's like to be an American or what our country is about, what our constitutional republic is about. He wants it to be like where he came from, where the big government takes care of everybody. Well, guess what, damn it? That's not what our country's about, and it shouldn't be. Let's continue.
What I read you earlier, by the way, was from Obama. What I read you at the beginning of the segment was from Obama. And Obama's the one that said you can apply to stay temporarily. This was meant to be temporary. Now President Trump, rightly so, is following co-equal branches of government. He's saying to the Congress, go do your job. I'm giving you more time. You've already had the time under Obama, 8 months since I've been president.
He's not protecting the dreamers. And they are, as Americans, they are as Americans.
That's not his job. His job is not to protect a bunch of illegal immigrants. His job is not to make sure that every illegal immigrant that comes across the border gets free clothing, food, shelter, and a college education. That's not his job. When did it stop being a benefit to being a citizen of the United States of America? When did that stop? We now have these special classes now, where it's a benefit to not be an American citizen. When did that start? Why is this a good idea? I don't understand. Let's continue.
As Trump's children, exactly the same. The only difference, Sean, is that they don't have a paper to
Jorge,
show it.
You cannot ask that the United States burn its Constitution, stomp all over it, in the process of doing what you want. You have to understand we're a nation of laws. Do you respect that?
We're talking about children who are already here.
30-year-old children.
I understand, but they're here illegally.
Your children and my children.
They're not here legally.
The same.
But you have time. The good news for you, Jorge,
it is not their fault. It is not their fault, Sean.
It's not their fault.
I admire you, but you're missing the main point.
Okay, I'm done. I can't take anymore. It's not their fault. Their parents, they didn't know until they went and applied for a driver's license. They had no idea. It's their parents' fault. Their parents were the ones that were the legal guardians. They knew what they were doing. If the kids didn't know, they lied to their children. That's it. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. You want some interesting news? Want something that'll change your, make you feel a little bit different? Look at this. Leaves are going to fall in 4 weeks. Crisp mornings in about 8 weeks. And Christmas lights will glow in 12 weeks here in America. La, 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 la. Isn't that nice? It's been so hot. Oh, I live in Phoenix, and I know the weather has just been terrible around the country. Awful. Been 106. It was 106 here today. I did take a nice picture, though. I didn't put it up on my... Let's see here. Do I have it on? I don't know if you can see it. Can I put this up? I don't know if you can see it, but this is what I saw today. I mean, not a cloud in the sky. And look at that. Nice hot air balloons. That's what it looks like outside my my door today. But again, 106 degrees. All right. Oh, let's get back on the hurricane just for a second. Have you seen this? This is a very important thing. People go, what does a hurricane do? Category 5, Schmategory 5, big deal. It kind of is. The Weather Channel did a great video. I don't know if you've seen it. I think this is really important. I want to share it with you here. What is the difference between hurricane categories? Category 1, wind speeds 74 to 95 miles an hour. low amounts of damage. Power outages, coastal flooding, common. Category 2. Sustained winds from 96 to 110 miles an hour. Significant damage to roofing materials, signs, mobile homes. Extensive power outages and scattered loss of potable water. Category 3. 122 miles an hour, 111 to 129. Structural damage, trees uprooted, doors ripped off. Inland flooding, full power loss is likely. Category 4. Sustained winds from 130 to 156 miles an hour. Heavy, irreparable damage, far inland flooding. Total and long-lived electrical and water losses. Category 5, and this is what we're looking at in Florida. Sustained winds greater than 157 miles an hour. Absolute destruction of almost every structure. Virtually all trees are uprooted or snapped. Mass evacuation necessary. This is what we're looking at in Florida if the reports are accurate. God help our friends in Florida. I have a friend that's living in Florida right now, and he was out looking at the gas lines, and this is what he reported. This is a line to a gas station. Look at that. He's in the South Florida area. Look at that. Gas. $2.71, $2.89, $2.75. It's a little high from where I am, but still, look at that. Wow. Whew. We're praying for you guys. We really are. Before we go, let's do some good Trump. I did bad Trump. Let's do good Trump. President Trump in North Dakota talking about his tax reforms and what he wants to do. This is the good stuff, and I want to hear more of it. Let's play it here on the Rusty Humphries Rebellion.
Tremendous burden for the family farmer. Tremendous burden. Thank you. Appreciate it. But a tremendous burden for small businesses and businesses that aren't necessarily liquid, but they're great businesses where you're forced to sell and terrible things happen. Here with us today is Julie Ellingson, a fourth-generation cattle rancher and a mother of 5 from Bismarck. Where is Julie? Hello, Julie. Like many family ranchers, Julie worries about the death tax shutting down her family business and keeping her from passing it on to her children. It's a devastating tax. Julie, we are not going to allow the death tax or the inheritance tax or whatever you want to call it to crush the American dream. I'm not going to let it happen. So, fighting hard. Thank you, Julie. Ronald Reagan proved that cutting taxes in American businesses helps American workers win in the world marketplace. When President Reagan lowered taxes, American businesses beat out our foreign competition. Our economy boomed, the middle class thrived, and median family income increased. But then Washington stood by while other countries adopted our playbook. But they did it even better than us. They lowered their tax rates and reformed their tax systems to be more competitive substantially than that of the United States of America. And America went from leading the pack to following way behind. Now our business tax rate is the highest in the developed world, 60% higher than our foreign competitors. Pretty bad. Puts us at a big disadvantage. We're behind France, behind Germany, behind Canada, Japan, Ireland, Mexico, behind South Korea. We're dead last. Our high business tax is nothing more than a crushing tax on every product made in America. We have totally surrendered our competitive edge to other countries, but we're not surrendering anymore.
Good. Okay. So that was the good President Trump. That's the President Trump. That's the President Trump that I like. Standing up for America, doing the right things, making deals with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi is not the way to get it done. I wish it was. I wish it would make a difference. I wish. The problem is that Democrats only care about power for Democrats and elites. They do not care about the American public. They don't. They just don't. All right, let's see here. James says we are not worried about the hurricane itself, but what comes after the hurricane. Aileen says gas $2.59 a gallon in Kentucky. Lyndon says there's a massive cold front holding the eastern seaboard. I think it's going to push the storm out into the Atlantic. I hope so. Really do. Dennis says hopefully the people of Florida will not listen to the mayor if he tells them not to evacuate like the mayor of Houston. Floridians need to use common sense. It's almost too late if they haven't gotten out now. The roads are jammed. The gas is almost gone. It's a mess. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. And I love Florida. I lived there. I lived in Orlando for a while. I was in Hurricane Charlie years ago. It's awful. What's happened to Houston? It's terrible. We as American citizens, this is where we come together. This is where we do the best. This is where we shine. This is where we're proud. It's funny how Black Lives Matter and all these other alt-left groups couldn't go down to Texas and say anything bad about the way Texans handled things. All they could do was complain about Melania's shoes. Saying, oh, Trump didn't see enough stuff. He didn't go to the certain areas. What, you think Trump is flying the plane or driving the car of where he can go in a disaster area? I mean, you alt-left haters, man. You got to calm that crap down. You just have to. You got to calm the crap down. And then, yes, Michelle, there's huge forest fires. And these forest fires are in areas where I grew up. I grew up in the Seattle area. Most of the area that I grew up in, thankfully, is not in flames, but there's smoke all around. There's ash everywhere. One of my favorite places in the world, Multnomah Falls, outside of Portland, looks like that caught on fire. Here's the good news. I've been through these fire seasons year after year. And every time there's a fire, people say, oh, it's a moonscape and it'll take 20, 30 years for it to grow back. And here's all I know. After been through many in Oregon and in Nevada and California, it is amazing how quickly life bounces back. I'm not saying that we want these forest fires to happen, although the alt-left is one of the main reasons this stuff happens. When they made it harder for logging to happen, we have so many trees that it makes it so much easier for these fires to spread quickly. But they don't want to hear that. So our prayers are all throughout the country. Oregon, California. The biggest wildfire in Los Angeles history is going on. Oregon, Washington, California, Montana, the murders in Chicago, the floods in Texas, coming up to Florida, already going through the tropics. It's awful. Yeah, Randy said they arrested some kids for blowing off fireworks. And that's how the fires in Oregon started. It's a tough time. But Americans are strong. And if we don't allow these alt-left Antifa bastards to rip us apart, we might actually get through this. All right. Mike says you got volcanoes, earthquakes, wildfires, tsunamis, and liberals in Seattle. Do me a favor if you would, please. Would you please support our sponsors, Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Australian Dream Back Pain Relief Cream. If you've got any pain, Australian Dream really, really does work. It really does. You just rub this cream. It's almost a miracle cream. You rub it on your body where it hurts. It doesn't smell like that other stuff you've done. It doesn't smell. It doesn't burn. It's not greasy. And it just does what it says it does. It relieves pain. What more do you want? It is available at Walmart, Walgreens, and all great retailers. And if you try it and you don't like it, hey, there's an empty jar guarantee. Use the entire jar, and you can return it if you don't like it. But I think you will like it because it really is a great product. It's Australian Dream Arthritis Pain Relief Cream and Back Pain Relief Cream. Another product I would really ask you to check out is called Wax RX. It is the same type product, same ear washer that is purchased by doctors and clinics, and yet you can have it right there at home. It works. I get earwax, and it's like 2 or 3 times a year. I've got to go and get this stuff cleaned out. It costs hundreds of dollars, and thankfully, Wax RX just works. It does. I got a box of it right here, and all you have to do is follow the directions, and you can clean your ears at home with a system just like the doctors use. It's available at waxrx.com. waxrx.com. And then, of course, today's big sponsor, and we really appreciate them, DerMend Mature Skin Solutions, moisturizing anti-itch lotion. It's steroid-free, and as you age, your skin it just doesn't bounce back like it used to, and you might get itchy and yucky, and, well, this will help fix it. Again, Walmart, Walgreens, other great retailers. If you're looking for a great podcast, of course, there is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. That's available at iTunes and Stitcher and iHeartRadio and on Google Play and every place great podcasts are. Go check it out. Have you liked and shared this video? Have you let people know about it? Have you clicked on it right now? Give me some thumbs ups right now. Give me some love. Give me some hearts, would you? Let's get some interaction going. Let's make sure that we go and get people knowing about these videos. I'm on every night, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West, and we really love you being here. We really, really do. Another great podcast, though, is Blunt Force Truth. It is also at iTunes and Stitcher and iHeartRadio, hosted by Chuck Woolery, the great game show host, and our other great friend, Mark Young. They do an awesome, awesome job. So, that's it. I haven't even asked you to go buy my book today. I guess I can. 7 ways to win political debates with your liberal family and friends and keep them as family and friends. Written by moi, Rusty Humphries. Available only at Amazon in paperback and in Kindle. It's also on Audible in the audio version. That's it. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you. I do. I love you. May God bless you. May God bless America. Thank you so much for hanging out. My name is Rusty Humphries. And this is the Rusty Humphries Rebellion. Dooby dooby doo dooby doo doo doo.